All right, so today we are going to be looking at eating a couple of different items with my denture in, as requested by a couple of different people. I do have my denture fixated with the Fixodent Ultra Hold. I did this about 45 minutes ago, so we'll go ahead and get started. One of the first things that was requested was a piece of celery. Not sure why this would be difficult to eat with a denture, but it tastes absolutely horrible. But just to show you guys how easy it is, I will go ahead and eat a piece of celery here for you guys. It tastes horrible. I don't know how rabbits do it. It's so bad. It's absolutely horrible. All right, so that's just bad. That was pretty. That tasted horrible. It wasn't difficult to chew. It is a little different than what I'm used to. So I'm gonna try some right now that has peanut butter inside of it. Hopefully that will get the taste out of my mouth a little bit. Oh, much better. I mean, it's still awful, but way better with peanut butter. That's actually tolerable. Much better with peanut butter. All right, next up, I feel like it's like KitKats. I'm a big fan of KitKat. Actually, I love Reese's, but KitKats is a close second. We'll go ahead and try one of these out. That's good. Yeah, super easy to do. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say it's probably like maybe a 2. It's not difficult to chew at all. Definitely not something you want to try right away, but after your gums are healed, yeah, you can do it. We'll set this off to the side for now. Next up, we have a Twix. This one should be a little harder, and it's got a little bit of caramel inside. Sometimes caramel will get stuck to the roof of your mouth, or the roof of your denture. Actually, easier than I thought it was going to be. There it is. So if you're not quick when you're chewing and keeping your tongue moving it around a lot, it will start to kind of build up a little bit on the back of your denture. At least for me it did right now. But still very easy to eat, very, very doable. So this one wasn't requested. And so this one wasn't requested, but I was with a friend when I was buying this stuff, and they thought it would be hilarious to watch me eat a Payday. I think they just want to see me suffer on camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this. I've never tried this. I've had Payday I think once before, and before I've had my Denture. I was always more of a Baby Ruth kind of guy, but I guess we'll try this. Also a lot of peanuts. Definitely way trickier to chew. Still doable. Yeah. New Paydays. Probably can do Baby Ruths too. There's so many peanuts in this. But it tastes so good. Okay. I got other stuff to eat here. Let's move on. Caramels. Now I know you guys are just being mean. So far, so good. There it is. The moment it starts getting warm. All right, managed to get it off the roof of my mouth. Yeah, definitely like a 9 out of 10 for trickiness to chew. It really catches you off guard. At first, it's fine. You're chewing, you're good, and then the moment it starts to get a little wet and worked in, yeah, it'll stick to the roof of your mouth. Really, really, really good. So be very careful when eating just straight caramel. That's very tricky. I'm gonna stay away from those, at least until I have a chance to eat a couple of these other items. All right, next up is Snickers. Classic crowd favorite. I don't anticipate it being very difficult, considering the Payday was pretty easy to do, and the Payday is like got way more peanuts in it. Oh yeah. Real easy to do. I haven't had a Snickers in a long time. Oddly enough, the Snickers is probably harder to eat than the Payday, which is not what I was expecting. On a scale from 1 to 10, the Payday was probably like a 3 or 4. The Snickers is actually like a 5 or a 6, to be honest with you. Yeah, but still very easily doable. Jerky, because a lot of you asked if you could eat steak, and I am not a very good cook when it comes to steak, and I don't want to eat bad steak, because then I feel like I paid for a steak and then, didn't get to eat a good steak. So maybe if I go out to Texas Roadhouse again, there's a Texas Roadhouse near me, I'll have someone record me eating some steak for you guys. But for now, I'm going to show you guys jerky instead. This is Old Trapper, old-fashioned beef jerky. It's not the best beef jerky. I'll see if I can throw up a picture of the jerky that I actually like. But I do love beef jerky. It's not bad. It's pretty good. A little dry, but not bad. Doing more like fat piece for you guys. So what do you guys think? I don't think it's too difficult. With the right adhesive, you can eat just about anything, to be honest with you. Now, keep in mind, I don't have a bottom denture, right? I had the teeth on both sides and the back pulled, and I have a little bit of teeth right up here in the front. So I am working with a little bit of natural teeth, not a lot though. And my whole upper palate's been replaced. So I'm working with one full denture on the top and just a couple of natural teeth on bottom, but no other denture on bottom. Oh, I was almost getting ready to pull it and eat it, and I was like, that kind of defeats the purpose of the video, so let me just use my teeth. That's really good. But the point of the video is you shouldn't be scared to get dentures because you're worried about how you're going to eat. Your eating's going to be just fine. Now, everyone's going to have their own recovery period. Some people will take longer to recover. Others not so long. Me, it was pretty quick. And listening to some of your guys' stories down in the comments below, now you know my heart really goes out to you guys because your experience was vastly different than mine in some situations. And some of you guys have medical conditions that make it just even worse, on top of getting a denture, like having issues with like weak bones or any type of deterioration or anything along those lines. And I'm no expert by any means, so definitely I'm glad to see that you guys are actually able to still get treatment, even though it took a lot longer than others, or myself included. I think in the end, it's better for everyone, if you have that taken care of as quickly as possible. Sorry, excuse me. But as for myself, I'm really glad that I got the procedure done. Eating food and candy and other stuff like that has been something that was weighing on my mind for a long time, and it was part of the reason why I took so long to decide whether or not to get my denture. Looking back on it now, it was kind of dumb because I'm eating way more stuff than I was before I had gotten the denture. So for years I would just stick to soups or just really soft foods, and I would never... Oh, you know what? You guys just reminded me. I have some chips. Let me go get the chips. As I was saying, I would normally stick to soft foods. I would never go to something like chips. This is the last item that I have here. I actually have a lot more stuff in my kitchen, but I think for right now, this is the last thing that I'm going to show you guys. This is probably like one of my favorite things to eat whenever I'm looking for something like quick and snacky, and that's these kettle corn popcorn or kettle corn sweet and salty chips. Whoa, down. All right, so chip. It's so good. I know they're not like normal Doritos, but they're just as easy to eat as normal Doritos. And God, these are so good. All right. All right, so that's about it for now. If there's anything else that you guys want to see me, eat on camera, I'd be more than happy to do so. All right, so just to recap, the celery that we had, that we started off with no peanut butter, it was probably like a 1 out of 10 to eat. It wasn't difficult. The next thing was the celery with the peanut butter. That was probably like a 2 out of a 10. It tastes way better. So just if you're gonna eat celery, bring some peanut butter with it. Next up was the KitKat, I believe. KitKat was like a 3 out of 10. It's not difficult at all. Next up was the Payday, I believe. No, the Twix. The Twix was like maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10. It's starting to get a little bit trickier. It has a little bit of caramel in there with it, so if you let it sit in your mouth too long, it'll kind of stick to the roof of your mouth. So just gotta keep chewing through it and then swallow when appropriate. Next up was the Payday, which I honestly thought was going to be way harder than it actually was. But that one was probably only like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. I was kind of anticipating that being like a 9 because it's like held together by caramel and like a ton of peanuts. So like all those little peanuts being like super difficult to chew if you don't have a lot of teeth like me. Next up was the Snickers, and that was probably the most difficult one to eat aside from the caramel pieces. In terms of the candy bar, that was probably the toughest. That was probably like I would say like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. The caramel pieces, the straight caramel cubes, those ones, that's like a 9 or a 10. That's very tricky. It can get stuck to the roof of your mouth very, very easily. When you're eating other things with caramel in it, it may not be too bad if you're not leaving it in your mouth for too long or pressed up against the roof of your mouth. But even with those guys, like it was only for a split second and it almost got stuck to the roof of my mouth. And it took me some, maneuvering my tongue around a little bit to be able to pry it loose and have it not stick to the roof of my mouth. So those ones are definitely way, way, way more difficult to eat. Beef jerky, very easy to do. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd say it's probably like a 2 or a 3. Not very difficult. This is pretty dry jerky. If it's wet jerky, it's probably going to be even easier to eat. What else was there? The chips. The chips were probably like a 1 or a 2 out of 10. Not difficult to eat at all. Even if you got like the really like thick chips that they have. I forget. I don't know if it's like kettle corn chips or what it is. But even if you got those from the store, they wouldn't be too difficult to eat. Yeah, I can't think of anything else really to say other than, don't be scared to eat food just because you have a denture. I would say practice at home if you're worried about it, but you'd be surprised at what you can and can't eat, even though, you have a denture on. But if you guys have any additional questions or concerns, leave them down in the comments down below. I do read pretty much almost every comment that comes through. And if you guys want to see more videos like this with any special requests, just let me know and we'll go ahead and try to put those together for you. Celery peanut butter is probably like a 2 or a 3 out of 10, just because if you're not careful. Cat, you're watching the... All right, sorry about that.